Hey there, it's September 9th, 2020, day 253 of the year. I am going to take a breakfast photo today, so what I am doing is setting up the scene before actually making my breakfast. I like to do that first with food photos, so I feel like I am much less in a rush. Behind me, I have my bowl set up and my flowers that I made last night that you'll have seen in the last video. I have my camera set to aperture priority because it's still pretty dark in here and I would just rather let it deal with the shutter speed. I have my ISO at 100, my f-stop at f4 because I want to have the flowers and the bowl mostly in focus, and it is giving me a 1/4 of a second shutter speed. But I'm pretty happy with this composition now, so I am going to make some oats. With this bowl of oats, I'll be playing off the orange, yellow, and chocolatey brown colors of the flowers and tablecloth. Instead of using bright red raspberries or apple slices to top the oats, I'm using a peach to go with the color theme, and the mandatory chocolate. Having been disappointed by the cookies I made last week, I felt like I needed a solid win in the baked goods arena. I found a recipe for some oatmeal cranberry cookies that differed from most oatmeal cookie recipes I've seen. I haven't made this flavor of cookie in a long time, and with autumn on the way, they felt season appropriate. I can't emphasize this enough. Go make these cookies. They were amazing. I've got the link in the recipe description. All right. My cookies are in the freezer. They are going to have to actually freeze overnight, so I'm not going to get to bake them today, but they mixed up together pretty well and I'm really excited about them. Right now it is still 90 degrees outside, so there is no going outside for me today. I am going to probably divide my day between tidying up and maybe a little bit of computer work later this evening. Hello from the kitchen again. It is 11:20. I am going to do one more thing before I get ready for bed, and that is to make some cashew milk. I wanted to get that done tonight so it'll be nice and cold tomorrow morning. Cashew milk is a nearly foolproof homemade milk option. If you don't have a high-powered blender, it just takes some more prep time to soak the cashews overnight. You don't have to strain the blend afterwards, but I still do to have everything extra creamy. It's a great complement to those oatmeal cookies I know you're going to make. This morning I made my other favorite rotational breakfast. I also baked off the first of the cookies to give as a surprise to my mom since I'll be seeing her today. It seems no matter the time of year, the drive to my hometown is always lovely. I remember when this was a 2-lane road. Whenever I visit, we always go to one of my favorite places to eat, a place called Windy Corner. It's a favorite because there is more than one option on the menu for me, and they make the best tofu I've had. The restaurant is nestled amongst horse farms, and tonight they had live music. While all of this would have made a lovely photo, I ended up snapping a picture of Mom's cat Bianca being mischievous while Mom was trying to work. You can see it in her face. She was just waiting to cause havoc. It's time to repot this peace lily. I readily admit I am not the greatest plant parent. When it comes to indoor plants, I pretty much need the kind that keep themselves alive. For my photo today, I was thinking about how I often record video with my phone versus my Pro camera and its big aperture lenses. While I have to use the phone when I'm recording behind the scenes, I still reach for it during moments like this when I'm recording daily life. For me, there is an appeal of pushing limited camera technology as far as I can. I've learned some tactics here and there digging into the manual settings. It's been the real workhorse behind these vlogs, and I decided to make a photo featuring it. It is just past 6 o'clock and I am going to start making supper. I haven't taken my photo today and I've been thinking on what I want to do for that. And I think I am going to take a picture of those oatmeal cranberry cookies I made a few days ago. They turned out so good, and I have a few more to bake off before they're done. Hello there, I am just setting up for my photo. As you can see, it is the next day, but oh well. I am so tired, but I am just going to push through and get it done. I suppose I could wait until tomorrow, but I actually really wanted to try out a different kind of flash setup for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it tonight. To start the process of adjusting my flashes, I'll work with one at a time so I know exactly what the light looks like. I'm starting with the umbrella in the back. I have it set at the lowest power, and that is enough for what I want. The challenge here is adjusting the placement of the flash to make an even light coming from the side. Okay, now that the backlight is sorted, I'll work on my key light. Now turning them both on, here is a comparison without the backlight and with the backlight. With everything set, I'm adding the finishing touches and taking the final photo. Of course, I am never alone when working, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a long drive home from a wedding today. While I would prefer to work local weddings, I've come to look forward to these long drives home in the dark. There's no rush, my music keeps me company, and the darkness gives my brain a rest. It's about as close to meditation as I get, and I can decompress from the stress of the day. Weddings are often long, loud, and hurried. As an introvert whose social battery drains extremely quickly, wedding days always come with a high dose of anxiety. I love the photography process, and I try to challenge myself every time, but if you asked me what I'd really like to do if money were no object, I'd choose to spend the day photographing nature. I did take a moment to do that today. There have been some unfortunate wildfires across the country, and the smoke has reached all the way here, causing the sunset to be eerily dim. If I can't spend the day wandering around a forest with my camera, my second favorite way to spend my time is a day like today. I'll have a heartwarming breakfast, likely some sort of oats, and then get lost in editing or drawing until the evening when my cats let me know it's time to take them on their daily adventure. I didn't intend for complete darkness to fall before I got the camera set up, but it did, and that gave me the opportunity to try some light painting. I set a 15-second exposure and walked around the rows with a flashlight. I kept the flashlight covered with my hand, and then I would briefly shine the light on the leaves, usually in front and behind the flower. It took a few tries, but I enjoyed the results. Hello there. I'm going to try to talk to the camera for a little bit because it is still the most unnatural thing for me to do, and I really envy those vloggers that can just talk so enthusiastically and sound so natural at the same time. Today I needed to make a return at the FedEx office, and the FedEx office is near the cupcake shop. So cupcake, they've got some of their fall flavors out now, so this is a s'mores cupcake. I really didn't have any other ideas for a photo today. Anyone who has looked through my pictures so far knows that anytime I have a cupcake, I have to take a picture of it. So that's what I'll be doing tonight, and I want to hurry up and get it done so I can get my dessert on. All right, I have arranged my flowers. I'm pretty happy. It looks pretty neat in the viewfinder. A lot of these in the background are making this nice little pattern that I wasn't expecting. At first I thought that I would put them in the vases, but of course they're too tall for the composition. Now I'm going to figure out how I want to light this. I still don't really know. It looks okay with the overhead light, but it's too soft and I just want something. So I may just do my standard thing where I light it from the front here and maybe have a little bit of a rim light in the back. I'm going to start with my umbrella and see what that gives me. Sometimes I feel like the light that comes from it is a little bit too contrasty, and I will switch to just bouncing the light off the ceiling, but I think in this case it should work nice. Now I need to set up the flash that will come from behind. I'm not going to use this. This creates a little bit too broad of light. I'm going to get probably my honeycomb adapter for the head of this flash. Here is the adapter. This narrows the beam of light just a little bit, but not as much as a snoot. A snoot would be too much of a spotlight for this kind of image. I just wanted to show how things look in the very first test picture. The light in the back is far too bright, and I need to brighten up the light in the front and perhaps move it more in front of the cupcake. I also want less light on the table. As you can see, there's a lot of light hitting the bottom of these flowers, and I want it to go more up so it misses the table here and just hits the top of this and the top of this graham cracker and chocolate. I think I'm getting there, but I'm having some trouble getting rid of this light in the very background. I don't really like it there. So I am actually going to try putting the flash right in the middle and seeing how that looks. With the picture made, I'm going to round this week off with a late night treat. I'll meet you here again next week, and in the meantime, remember to treat yourself.